Alright guys, welcome to video 10. This is going to be about repricing and taxes. Both things that seem to haunt everybody's mind, and neither one of them is that overbearing, I promise. Okay, so let's get started with repricing, okay? What is repricing? Repricing is you have now bought the product, you've shipped it into Amazon, and you set a price whenever you shipped it in. Now the Amazon warehouse has received it, and it's ready for sale on Amazon. First of all, you'll know it's ready by looking at this available thing right here. And if this says 1 or however many units, like down here I have 2 active units of this thing, but it'll say, you know, however many units you have available. You can also see that under, if you go to inventory and go down to manage FBA inventory, you can see these 3 different columns that talk about what is available and what's not. So here in this screen, to get to this screen, this is the Manage Inventory screen. This is where you're going to be doing your repricing. If you find that you don't have the buy box on the listing and you're not getting your product sold, it's probably because you're not winning the buy box. So when customers are going to that listing, they're not seeing your listing for the product. So what you need to do is you need to be competitive on price. So if you go over to this product, this is that eggy egg slicer we've been using as an example. You can see all the people here around $6.50, $6.35 is the lowest. So if I wanted to be sure that I was going to win the buy box, at least for a little bit until this person repriced, then I would go ahead and go in here and I would change my price to $6.34, right? So to do that, you would hit, or let's say 33, whatever. You click it and you click save. And it's going to save, and within the next 2, 3, 4 moments, or I don't know, minutes, it's going to go live, and that will be your set price. Now here's the thing. A lot of sellers nowadays are using software called repricers. There's a few different ones. The one I use is called Be Cool. There's even one here in the Amazon seller back office called Automate Pricing right here. I'm not going to go over how to use it because in my opinion the paid software is just so much better that they don't even compare. So I don't even suggest really using this unless you are absolutely strapped and can't spend at least 15 bucks a month on a pricing software that is totally worth it. So let me tell you about this pricing software. It's right here. It's called Be Cool. There is an affiliate link on my website under the resources and tools section at orbradio.com. If you're going to buy it or you're going to sign up for it, it has a 14-day trial, first of all, up here currently. And the lowest price is $25 a month. I thought it was 15, but $25 a month. And it reprices every 15 minutes, and you can have up to 1,000 active listings. And it syncs with Inventory Lab, and it competes against all the other buy box things. It tells you your profit. You can schedule your repricing, and you can even make these rules around how it decides to reprice. And it's really, really handy. It took me about a year before I went ahead and signed up for this, and it was one of my biggest mistakes. I really wish I had just done this right out the gate. This is a really important software. It's the thing that's going to keep you in the buy box, keep your products relevant, and that $25 a month goes as just a cost of doing business, and you write it off at the end of the year anyway. So it's an important thing, 25 bucks a month. If you're going to sign up for it, please sign up for it through my affiliate link. Every time somebody does that, I get a little tiny commission, and it just makes making these videos easier to do. So anyway, but if you don't have that right now, you can reprice in here, but you will have to be pretty diligent because all those other sellers are most likely using repricers as well. When they have this kind of ratings, they're professional sellers and they are using repricers. I can promise you that. So they're going to set their bottom price, and if that bottom price and their max price are set, then if you fall anywhere in there, they're going to beat you every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes or whatever it might be. They're going to reprice underneath you, and your product is not going to win the buy box as often. So yeah, so that's kind of repricing in a nutshell. There's so much more to it, but that's the basic part. So once you get your products there, if you find they're not selling and you need to reprice, just go into inventory, manage inventory, go over here to price and lower your price. You can see the lowest price right there. Sometimes be wary of that. That may not be the lowest prime price, which is the price we want to match, the price that's going to win the buy box. So yeah, so now we've talked about repricing. I want to talk a little bit about taxes, okay? So here's the lowdown on taxes. So everybody gets up in arms about, well, I got to make sure I set so much back for taxes, and I got to make sure I do this, and at the end of the year, what if I make too much money, and blah, 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 blah. It's excuses. All of it's excuses. Taxes are a necessary evil in this business, and any small business for that matter. So the long and the short of taxes on Amazon is don't overcomplicate it, okay? I'm a numbers guy. I'm the first person to overcomplicate numbers. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, you're going to pay taxes on revenue minus cost of goods sold and, of course, business expenses. And that last number is your profit. You're going to pay taxes on that. And I'm not going to tell you what those taxes are because they vary based on household and all those different things. And also, you're going to pay a certain tax on end of year inventory that you're carrying over to the next year and stuff like that. So the thing about that is it is not that number, that tax number, as long as you're not pulling insane amounts of money out of your business, you're going to be fine. Okay, you're going to be fine. I promise you that. So the thing to think about with taxes is if you're making buku amounts of money, then you have to know that you're going to owe taxes on it, right? It's kind of how it works. And also, I remember thinking back when I first started selling on Amazon, I was like, well, I only sold $1,000, in which I started in like December one year. So I only sold $1,000 that year, and I looked at it and I was like, do I even report that? And I got to thinking to myself this, okay? So really, I think I probably paid, I don't know, $30 on that $1,000. I might not even paid anything. But the simple fact of the matter is I did it on purpose. I claimed it on purpose because I knew that one day this business was going to be something more. It was going to be something much bigger than that $1,000 in a month. And so I planned ahead. And I said, you know what? We're going to build this business on a solid rock that is honest and has integrity and, pays its taxes. So now I can, lay my head down at night and not have to worry about the fact that I am within the bounds of the law as far as paying my taxes at the end of the year on my income. So another thing, coming back to the Amazon taxes. If you sell more than $20,000 a year on Amazon.com, at the end of the year or the beginning or in Q1, first quarter of the year, they will send you a 1099-K, which is a tax file that they will mail to you, and they'll also make it available in your back office under your reports, under tax documents, whenever that report becomes available. And essentially, it just shows the revenue that you sold, right? So it is up to you to know what your cost of goods is. So that's where it's important. If you don't have a program like Inventory Lab that keeps track of your inventory over the whole year, then you probably need to be keeping like an Excel spreadsheet or something of that sort that says, I bought 10 of these for X amount of dollars a piece, and they sold for X amount each, which gets a little complicated when you're using repricers and stuff because if they all sold at different price points, or maybe one never ever sold and you have 4 that sold and 1 that didn't, and it gets really complicated. And that's where it really is a great thing to have Inventory Lab on your side at the end of the year. Now, that's solely talking about your income tax, okay, off of Amazon sales and stuff like that. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, don't worry about this stuff right now. Don't worry about it. Cross that bridge when you get there. Take the action first. Nobody who has ever made a killing online ever got away without paying taxes without going to jail. So, essentially what I'm getting at is, just know it's going to be there, but just grow the thing. grow the thing, and you don't have to worry about that. It's just a necessary evil. I actually look forward to my tax bill at the end of the year because I go, you know what? If that bill is higher, then I made more money than I did last year. It's one way of looking at it. So that's just talking about income tax. So another type of tax on Amazon that you don't need to worry about right now, and we will talk about more down the road. But whenever you register with your state for your business license, which you don't have to do right out the gate if you're getting started right now, I would rather you go to the store, start buying product, ship it in, and all that stuff first. Get started. Don't worry about the business license. Don't worry about the LLC yet. I'm not a legal consultant, by the way. I'm not a CPA either, so don't take any of this to heart. I don't have the legal leg to stand on here, but this is what I do. I'm just telling you what I do and what I consider to be best practices. So that being said, if you're registered with your state, you can go in on Amazon and go into your tax settings and select to collect sales tax in whatever states your business is registered. So there's kind of a gray area right now in the tax world on what is the right way to collect sales tax. So there's three schools of thought. The states all think that if you're selling a product to their customer in their state, that they should get sales tax on that sale. That makes sense because they're the state. Amazon thinks, well, we shouldn't have to collect sales tax in every single state for our third-party sellers. We already collected on our sales, so we don't need to do that for them. And then the third-party sellers are saying, okay, it is a major, major hurdle for us to register with all 50 states, register to collect sales tax. Some of them require tax bonds, so you have to give them X amount of money that they just hold on to until the end of the year whenever you pay in those tax. It's really complicated. It's super complicated. So third-party sellers, if anything, they think two things. One, they think Amazon should be the one doing the sales tax collecting. And two, if not that, then they think that they shouldn't have to pay sales tax on orders that are outside of their state. So at the very least, this is where I land on the whole idea. Currently speaking, I collect sales tax in my state and the states that are required by me to collect sales tax. That's already set by Amazon. Down the road, what I really see happening right now is I see Amazon kind of coming full circle to that model where they do collect and remit sales tax on your behalf to the states that they're required to do so to. But right now, I don't worry about it right now. As soon as you register with your state, get your business license and stuff, and your resale certificate, then you can start thinking about collecting or remitting sales tax. Mainly because even if you make sales in your own state, at this point, unless you're selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, most likely those sales in your state, the state sales tax adds up to $10, $10, $20, $30. And it's one of those things where I'd love to comply. I'm the first guy to say, let's pay our taxes when they're due. I understand that. But the level of complication with complying right now is so high that it's almost too much of a barrier to entry into the market. So right now, don't worry about all that. We'll talk about more of that down the road. I'm going to bring a tax professional on at some point. We're going to talk about it. If you're more interested, I know there's a software out there called TaxJar that will collect and remit sales tax for you in all 50 states and some other stuff like that. It's not super cheap, but if that's something you feel like you need to do, you look into it and figure it out. Always stay up to date on that stuff because it can be tricky. So anyway, like I was saying, don't worry about all that. Focus on videos 1 through 9 and the repricing section of this video. Get past taxes in your mind and move on to starting and growing and expanding this business to something that is really, really great. So I hope that answered some of your questions. Yet again, like I always say, you can reach out to me at jsam@orbradio.com, or you can reach out to us on social media and we'll answer more questions about FBA and taxes and things like that. And yet again, I am not a tax professional and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't endorse any of this except for just telling you what I do. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to move into our last video, finally, which is going to be just kind of an overview, a close. We're going to talk about taking action. We're going to talk about putting the pieces together, and just a little bit of philosophy and stuff too that goes along with the small business world. And I'm going to recommend a couple books. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to closing you all in the next video. So have a good day.